Let me ask you something. When you hear personal branding, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Someone really famous? Viral posts? Millions of followers? I thought so. Because that's what most people think about when they think about a personal brand. I have a different definition. For me, personal branding is the art of proactively and intentionally managing your reputation. A personal brand doesn't need to make you famous. It just needs to make you well known in your area of influence. And your area of influence, that's for you to define. Hi, my name is Blanca Melendez del Castillo. I help experts show up with the visibility that matches the caliber of the kind of experts they truly are. So if this is you, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. There are two types of professionals. One type wants to be well known and wants to be recognized as an authority in the industry where they are active. The other group wants to go big. They want to be on big stages, keynotes, recognized, invited to podcasts, to interviews, and so on. Both are valid, but each one works a little bit different across the 7 dimensions of visibility. I was at a networking event a few weeks ago, and I was told about this woman who is in such a niche market in technology that there are only 3 places in the world where she can live and work. And that is Munich, the Netherlands, and Stuttgart. For someone like her to be known in her industry across the 7 dimensions of visibility is a little bit different, as opposed to someone who wants to go big and be well known everywhere, like a Grant Cardone, a Gary Vee, or a Mel Robbins, for example. In my work over the years with established experts, I have been able to identify 7 dimensions of visibility, and they all have to be present, and they are all interconnected. This is what I call the people brands visibility ecosystem, and I'm about to share it with you. Let me show you the model first. At the center is visibility mindset. Why? Because without the mindset that you want to be visible, without the mindset that you're going to be doing whatever it takes to gain the visibility that you need in order to reach your goals, your dreams, your vision, without that core essence of understanding the importance of visibility, everything else doesn't matter. The second ring are 3 elements that help us build the foundation for our personal brand strategy and messaging. They are the strategic positioning, because this is what answers the question, what is it that you want to be known for? Then we have the visual branding of the future, which is on how we align the visibility of how we show up to the world, align not on who we are today, but rather on who we are becoming. And the third one is the thought leadership. It's the development of your own thoughts, your own methodologies, your own perspective. Is developing your intellectual property, your IP, in order to show up into the world with your own perspective. The third ring is how we show up into the world. And there are 3 elements in there. The first one of them is the digital footprint. It is so big, and it's become so big that most people will only meet us digitally, or it is the first point of entry for a lot of people in meeting us and in creating connection and in creating trust. And it's also one where I see one of the biggest gaps between the expert that you actually are and how you show up in this digital footprint. Then there is the in-presence visibility. That means when you actually show up physically to events, stand on stages, are invited to interviews, to panels, where you show up as the expert. And then the third element is network. And this network, sure, it can be in-presence network, but it's also your digital network. And this touches on the element of who do you know, and who do you know that knows the right people, and is this network working for you, and are you working for that network? Is this network growing? And is this network allowing you to widen the scope of how you're known and where you're known? If the visibility mindset is not right, you are not in position to be fully seen. There might be something blocking you from allowing yourself not just to find your voice, but to actually give yourself permission to use that voice in public. And I hear all the time, my work should speak for myself. I don't need to be in the spotlight. I don't need to post as much. People will find me. Well, I have news. That's not how it works anymore. Brené Brown has spent decades working on this visibility mindset, and she understands what it takes to be truly seen. It's a matter of courage. But here's the tricky part. The higher your expertise, the more experience that you have, the harder it is to actually show up, because you have a lot more at stake. You have a lot more to lose. You know what you know, but you also know everything that you don't know. And trying to position yourself as the expert in your industry triggers a fear of judgment. Now let's talk a little bit more about positioning. Do people immediately understand what is it that you stand for? Because I hear a lot of weak positionings, like I'm executive consultant, I work with entrepreneurs to grow their business. But those are too vague and too wide. Positioning like this, it's not memorable. It's not specific. It doesn't make people immediately think of you when they need something. A strong positioning is specific, it's clear, and it speaks directly to a pain. Because when a potential client hears it, the thing that they say is like, that's me, that's what I need. Without clear strategic positioning, everything that you do, it's not linking together. Not the website, with the photos, with the LinkedIn posts, or anything else that you do. It's not fitting together, it's not aligned together. Now let's talk a little bit more about visual branding of the future and showing up not as you are today, but aligned with the vision that you have of the future. Because whether you like it or not, people are going to have an opinion of what they see from you. Before they read your bio, before they read your post, they see you. And how they see you depends on how you're showing up. And as I mentioned before, this is where I see one of the biggest gaps. I often meet people in person that I might have seen online before, and the online presence is not so impressive. But then when I meet them in person, I have like a reverse. Instead of being disappointed, I am very excited about meeting a person that is very interesting, with amazing experience, very insightful and very interesting. And the online presence, the visual branding, does not match the caliber of that expertise. I like this phrase. Your visual branding should be a sneak peek of the future and not a postcard of the past. The thought leadership dimension is the reason people want to work with you. It's the reason that people trust you. It's the reason people see you as the authority. Is that amount of experience expressed in your perspective and your methodologies that you have built throughout your experience is the reason that people trust who you are. It's the reason that people trust you. Thought leadership is not about how many times you post. It is about what you post about. It's not about copying an AI written post. Sure, you can help yourself to organize your ideas, but never a copy-paste. Thought leadership is about developing your own ideas, your own perspective, your own intellectual property, your own frameworks, your own unique thoughts that are a product of all the experience that you have had in your life. Something that is proprietary, something that is unique, and something that solves a real problem. Daniel Priestley says it well. He says that a key person of influence doesn't just create content, they create IP. This is thinking that it's theirs and that can be scaled beyond their own lifetime. So this is, after visibility mindset, the next ring: strategic positioning, visual branding of the future, and thought leadership. Let's move on to the last ring. Once you have a solid foundation, you can bring this foundation to the world. And this is how you show up. As I mentioned before, there's 3 elements. Let's go first to the digital presence or the digital footprint. When people search your name, what are they finding? They're putting your name in AI tools, in Google, in Perplexity, in Gemini, in Claude. What are they finding? Are they finding you? Are they finding that thing, how you want to position yourself? Or they find nothing? Or they find maybe a 20-year-old resume of what you used to do? Have you searched up yourself online to understand what kind of digital footprint has been created of you? Because most likely, whether you like it or not, you're going to show up somewhere. And it's up to you either to let it happen to you or to actually proactively manage it. So if nothing about you is coming up, or not the right things are coming up in those tools, that means you have a visibility problem, because you are being still invisible to a large potential of your audience. And this is what has been changing. The fact that it matters not only what you put out into the world, which is very important, because this is how you create your thought leadership. Because if you're not showing up, people don't know what you're about, and therefore you cannot be invited and you cannot be asked to talk in keynotes and so on. So, but it is not only important what you put out, but also who you are being referenced by. In the AI tools, it is just as important. Also, who else is talking about you? Podcast features, publications, event organizations, larger events and mentioning your name, and so on and so forth. This is the kind of visibility that compounds over time. Digital presence is very important in the world that we live today, but we cannot forget the in-person visibility, because this is also a way in which we can a lot quicker start being remembered and developing the trust. Because usually in the back end of meeting someone in person, there is also what I call digital visibility stalking. And I know because it has happened to me many times, in which I meet someone in person, we talk, we exchange LinkedIn profiles, we connect, and then I go back or they come back and tell you something that they have found about you online, about what you do. And that is happening all the time, because sometimes these short interactions that you have in person, it's not enough to give the person enough information and enough trust and credibility to really understand what is it that you do. Which brings me to, are you showing up in the rooms that really matter, where you can develop valuable connections, maybe potential clients, or people who really can help you open certain doors? Are you showing up in presence? Are you getting out from behind the computer and going out to meet people in presence? And the last of the elements is the network. Not only how many people you know, but do you know the right people? The right people that can open the doors, the right people that you can help connect to other people. Because I believe strongly that what goes around comes around. And having a strong network is a very important element in your visibility strategy. It takes courage to get out of your comfort zone and start expanding your network beyond your current one. Because if you want true visibility, you need to make sure that your network is constantly expanding. So that's it, the 7 dimensions of the People Brands Visibility ecosystem. So if you want to find out where you are at, I'm going to leave in the comments a link to our scorecard for the People Brands Visibility ecosystem. Then you can see exactly where your gaps are and what you need to start working on to become more visible. Thank you very much for listening today. I hope it was interesting. Don't forget to hit the follow button so you don't miss the next one.